What's going on, Long Beach? It's your boy, known by many names, and we're back with another Long Beach County podcast. Now, this one, I don't know if you could tell in the audio, but I'm sitting in my car. I'm sitting in my car on the west side, drinking a beer. Why is that? What time is it? It's finna be 10 o'clock at night. Now, why is that? Well, for one, the house is hot. The house is hot. I know everybody feeling the heat, and I live in a historical building built in 1919, and there are no ceiling fans. They never installed ceiling fans. They're trying to keep it in its original, condition. So that's what it is. Also, too, neighbors are arguing. So, I had to get out the house. Me and my girl said, "Yo, let's go down by the beach. Get some little beach noise in the background." Went to the beach. It's Sunday, 8:30 at night. 8:30 at night. People turned up. It's all types of music. So I don't want to get copyrighted in the background, but there was like a caravan leaving Cherry Beach when we were coming up, and the place was still packed. The weekend, if you have nothing to do, if you have absolutely nothing to do, you can always go down to Cherry Beach. It's very lively. Speaking of stuff that wasn't live, the street lights weren't on. It was almost completely black down there. Yeah, it was very scary. So we ended up just going down there, kicking it for a little bit. I told her, "Hey, I'm gonna drop you off. I'm gonna try to go somewhere else, try to hit another block." And I said, "You know what? The only place that's kind of quiet right now is the west side by the warehouses." So that's where I am. I'm recording this there. And yes, this episode, the question for this episode is going to be, does business create Long Beach, or does Long Beach create business? This is the question that we're going to be asking ourselves. And you know what? If I remember, I'm going to try to remember some local history and try to add it in there. Okay. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the things that we got into this weekend. First of all, it was the back to school event at John Wesley International Barbershop, hosted by the homie Crystal and their spouse at LBT. Shout out to homie Mar. And they gave away free haircuts, and they gave away food and school supplies, most of which came through the homie Malcolm and Brink Entertainment. Shout out them via Nothing But Love Entertainment for doing the storage and the drop off. Sea Change Neighborhood Association was also involved, and they wanted to collab with Push for Peace to get the kids out there, which we semi did. So it was great. They were trying to do 30 haircuts, got up to 18, which is a great number. And yes, I know that you've seen the little interview that I gave Crystal on the reel. The question that I was asking them, what's the hardest part of putting some stuff together? They had their answer. There is no wrong answer, right? But seeing how everything went down, it was with ease. And I think the message that I want to get across with that is that if you want to do something for the community, the first part is just having that idea, right? And the second part, which encompasses everything else, is just organizing up until the event. And so if you have an idea, you can usually contact, just put it out there and other people will join you. You don't have to work with a nonprofit. You don't have to work with a business. You could just do things. And so, like Crystal said, they are a student at the barber school. They have to talk to the school, and then everything else, they talk to the Long Beach Tenants Union, because they are, a part of that. And then they hit up Sea Change, which hit up Long Beach County. And then on the side note, Malcolm from Brink Entertainment, Brink FM, He wanted to get school supplies for kids, so he put the word out, talked to Coffee and Guy at Nothing But Love Entertainment, talked to the homie Sabria. They both told him, hey, you need to talk to Long Beach County. And so both of these things combined basically the same day, within the same 24 hours. He was able to drop off all of the school supplies. Then we dropped them off at the haircut event. They had some other school supplies and everything was gravy. So, you know, group economics, right? Everybody does their little part. If everybody's a grain of sand, that makes a beach, right? That makes a if you're a drop of water, that makes the ocean. Come together, that's the shore, right? So let's be sure, y'all. Besides that, what else did I do this weekend? I compiled all of this inventory that I want to do for Long Beach Jewelry. So if you don't know, I have a crew called Long Beach Covenant. Shout out to the gang. And basically we're highly involved with Long Beach history, Long Beach culture, and we're making cultural products. So my thing is Long Beach Jewelry. And you know, you've seen the Long Beach Covenant pendant and chain, you've seen the shoe charms, the charm necklace, the Doberman head, trying to make more things. The thing is, right, when you're making high quality products and stuff like that, especially when you're like really doing it, messing with silver and gold, it's very expensive. And so what has happened is when we launched the page and we put out the Long Beach Covenant pendant, we were just selling the pendants, no chain. Then people started asking for chains. So then we had to go get a wholesaler's permit to get the chains, because if we're talking wheat chains or rope chains, you're not, to make a wheat chain or a rope chain, it's going to take you some time. So you might as well just buy it wholesale. And that's what we did. And so now we have this wholesale license. And a lot of times when you go to the wholesale place, they want you to spend $200, $300, $400 when you only need just one or two chains. So you get a couple chains and then you go, you know what? I still got $20, $30, $40 left. Let me get a couple pendants too that aren't a part of the collection or anything. Let me just get these and put them out there. And so when I post them, people buy them. And so the new plan is that what we're going to do, follow me, is that I've compiled all of these pictures from the wholesale websites of stuff that I think that the community would like. And I'm going to start having real silver and gold inventory that you guys could buy, real gold, real silver, real jewelry. The thing is, though, is that I'm not Delamo. I don't want to put 200, 300, 400x profit on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a pre-sale to where you hit me up on WhatsApp. From now, I would say until mid-September, I'll be doing a pre-sale for all earrings, rings, just all the jewelry stuff. And basically you can order it and you can get it before we actually start having it in store. We're going to have a little small thing inside LB Smokers on 4th and Orange. When I tell you it's going to be a pre-sale, it's going to be, what I'm going to do is whatever the price is from my wholesaler, I'm going to only add 30 from 20 to 40%, okay, on top of and 10% of that has to go to the state, right? So in that regard, it's going back to helping the people of California. But then another percent is going to Ocean Org, because just like the skateboards and everything else, I'm going to have some jewelry put aside for the kids in the Push for Peace program so they could be fly. I'm going to donate some money to Ocean so they could have some little change in their coffers. And, you know, jewelry, people are selling stainless steel chains for $400, you know? So if I could get a chain for $60, $70, $80, usually people hit me up for a chain, let's just say silver chain. I go, okay, this chain is $120, $150. But what I'm going to do for this pre-sale, if the chain is $60, I might go, give me $80, give me $90 for it. And there you go. I'm going to bless the whole hood. And because, like I said earlier, group economics, it's going to work out. You know, the $5, $10, $20, $30 I make from these transactions, when I'm really supposed to be making way more than that, it's going to add up. People are going to love Long Beach jewelry. People are going to come back, and we're going to be able to fund the Long Beach Jewelry Project, help out the state, and help out my favorite local nonprofit. Now, this episode, we're going to talk about business, and we're going to talk about community. We're going to talk about culture. Let's just start it off. You know what? I'm on Instagram right now, and it says that Vault Fire knocks out power for more than 25,000 Long Beach residents. As of 9:21 p.m., there was no estimate restoration time, according to SoCal Edison. Now, this is coming from Long Beach Watchdog. I have a problem with them sometimes because they do crazy stuff, but let's look at this caption. More than 25,000 Long Beach residents found themselves in the dark without power Sunday evening after an electrical vault fire. The Long Beach Fire Department spokesman Brian Fisk told the Long Beach Watchdog that crews were dispatched to an electrical vault fire on the 3500 block of East Broadway near Redondo Avenue. Crews quickly knocked down the fire, Fisk said, and no injuries were reported, but some 25,646 customers have been left without power, according to the Southern California Edison's website. Now, here's a quote. Additional crews and resources have been mobilized to assist with troubleshooting and restoration efforts. Our crews are focused on restoring power as quickly and safely as possible, and then we will look into the cause. A video posted to social media showed what appeared to be two electrical transformers exploding near Redondo Avenue and Vista Street as a result of the fire. Now, that's one fire. There was another fire, so that's why the lights were out down there. Okay, yeah, I was just down there. Very spooky. Now, there was another fire at one of the Home Depot, not the Home Depot, one of the U-Hauls, and I think it was off of Walnut. It looked really bad. Hope everybody's okay. I don't know. Right now, the city is in a $60 million deficit. They're cutting off all this stuff. And when the lights were off and I seen all those people still down at the scene was almost apocalyptic, right? It was almost apocalyptic. But I'm getting off course. What we want to talk about today is Dedos Coffee. Now, I've never heard of Dedo, but yesterday I had somebody share a story with us, and I didn't really understand what was going on. It said, Dedo Coffee, you're lying. So I hit up my boy that posted it, and I said, hey, what is this all about? And he told me, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this thing. Let me just really get to it. So this was put in by the homie Rob Smith. Now, if you don't know who Rob Smith is, he is Alley Cat Deliveries, a great person, a community delivery service. If you need help, he swoops in and helps you move your shit, helps you get your things. So you have to love Rob. And Rob is very connected with the community. So when he seen that Dedos Coffee had allegedly been broken into and their sink was stolen, he went into full play. Now, I was on the phone with Rob for about an hour, but I have to admit, I was a little bit too talkative, and I really wasn't letting him talk because we were talking about other stuff. Well, I was letting him talk, but most of the conversation we decided shouldn't be in the interview, shouldn't be in the podcast. But basically, Rob went into full action, went down there, and what did he see? I recorded a story, just to keep the archive. Everything was fine. There were no windows broken into, no anything. They had lied to the community, and I'm on the post now. So the post was posted 3 days ago. And it goes, well, this is from Dedos Coffee, by the way. Well, looks like a major piece of equipment was stolen yesterday, right from our kitchen. Bummed to experience our first instance of theft and property damage. Coffee, yes. Brunch, no. We need to suspend our brunch operations today and possibly longer as we work through what's missing, what's broken, and how to fix it. If you want to support and put a dent in our lost revenue, we're making coffee as usual with some mighty tasty pastries, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Do you know what I just realized? I can actually read. So that's the post. 200 likes. Okay. 10 reposts. One of the reposts is from Rob, and it says, liar and fraud. Okay. Now, most of the comments are saying, I'm sorry about that. But then you have a comment from Rob, which is hidden, and it says, let's be honest and transparent. You weren't broken into. You had a sink replaced, and a crew worked overnight. You have cameras and posted no footage. Don't use the community for sympathy when you had work being done by the owner of the property. Be honest if you want to thrive. You started a false flag or what? Stop deleting my comments. So, Rob went down there ready to use his connections to fund these people to get everything back right that they needed, right? Wasn't going to say nothing. And what did he see when he went down there? They said that a sink was missing, but they just installed a new sink and the other sink was outside. And that's why they told people, don't come to the brunch or whatever, I guess, allegedly. Now, look, this is all alleged, right? This is all alleged, but I'm looking at the story. Wasn't a window broken into, and Rob's there early in the morning, right when they posted it, right? Because he's a community person and he wants to help. And so the problem is, right, whether you want to call it grifting or lying or scamming or fraud, whatever the case may be, we have to ask ourselves, as people from Long Beach, what are we doing? You know, I know you've been seeing people like AOC and things like that saying, woke one was crazy, right? Woke one wasn't crazy. Woke one was real. What we needed is major change. And we majorly failed, right? There were some narratives that we believe were good, and there were some narratives that we believed were bad, that I still believe are bad. You have these political figures saying, you know what, I think we had too much, we overcompensated for defunding the police. I don't think that was the right thing. Okay, AOC saying that now, right? I still think that the police should be defunded because in Long Beach, they're already getting all the money and things are still bad. Things are still things. But one thing that I do think that should have changed is our emphasis on small business, you see. Just because it's not a Ralph's or it doesn't have a brand name doesn't mean that it's not a brand name. Doesn't mean it won't be franchised out if they could. Just because it has LB in the name does not mean that they're from Long Beach. Just because it is a business that was/is a Long Beach business doesn't mean that it is a Long Beach business now, if that makes sense. Why? Because it's not the original owners anymore. They kept the name, they kept the business there, but it's not the same people that are running it, right? That's called simulacra. When something new replaces the old thing as the new standard. It's where we get the word simulation from. When people do this in our community, it's done. Some of you are still going to support. It's up to the people that know about Dedos to say, hey, I don't want to go to Dedos because they did this. And if, right, your friend, I still want to go to Dedos. Right now, if this is true, because this is all alleged right now, but if this is true, and your friend doesn't care, you have to look at this person and go, oh, okay. You're one of those people at the end of the world that I have to watch out for. There are businesses that I worked with that everybody loves, what you would consider Long Beach. Today's not the day. today's not the day, but I will tell you this. I've done my fair share of working with businesses before. Long Beach legendary, very important businesses. These people try to steal my money. Not my money, per se. Grant money for the kids in my program. People will have attitudes because you're trying to put money in their pocket and so forth. Then you have other people moving here, putting Long Beach on their thing, taking your money and voting against you because the owners are Republican. And I don't care about this one. This isn't a legend, and if Blake ever wants to get mad at me, he can. I haven't been to Good Bar in years. Why? Because I used to do catering. It was used to call Good Bus Catering because it used to be Good Buzz. Then one day, some white boys fighting outside. Right? Some white boys fighting outside. Somebody calls me, Blake wants to talk to you. Here's his number. I call Blake, hey, what's going on? Hey, man, I don't want you doing food outside anymore. Oh, okay, I won't do food outside anymore. It's not a big deal. No, man, people fighting outside my bar, they came in for... I don't know those people. I was just cooking out there, man. Okay, man, cool, but look, you have to admit, right, like, fighting outside the bar, it's like some black people shit. Blake told me that, not alleged. He told me that. After he told me that, I stopped going over there. I don't support his bar, no nothing. And it was confirmed later when we was marching downtown and stuff, and we seen Blake walking his dog, and we said, Blake, join us, and he ignored everybody. So I don't, and you guys, you don't care about that, right? These are the people that are destroying the community. But you're going to go down there because that's where it's happening at. That's where it's happening at. Do you know where it's happening at? Dummy, where you are. Huh? This is the stuff that I be talking about, man. Now, if we're getting into history, right? When we look at the question, does Long Beach make business or does business make Long Beach? Well, I'll tell you this, business did make Long Beach, right? Real estate. The first city, before the mayor, like Townsend, and then, the first mayors and the first people that built the port and stuff. There was businessmen that built this city, but also the people too. When they were building the port, all those mills and stuff, they said, hey, all the rich dudes over here got 100,000, but we need 100,000 from the people, and we're going to give y'all shares and stuff like that. So in that regard, business was involved, but it was the people that loved Long Beach that made the business for Long Beach to exist. Nowadays, the city builds something. They don't come to y'all. They don't come to us and say, hey, there's this property development right here. There's root to this and that. If any of the locals want to get into it, y'all could get a share. They don't do that. They don't do that no more because they feel like they don't need you. We, the people, make Long Beach, and we make business. And I'm tired of small business. Small business is like the kid with the lemonade stand. Small business are those people that are at the beach selling food. Small business are the people that go to these little markets and vend and stuff like that. Small businesses, people like me that have Long Beach County, have the website and make cultural products that you could get your stuff. That's small business. All right. If you have enough money to go to the bank, get a loan, get a space, and all this other, that's not small business. That's big business. That's big business. That's it. You do have businesses like John on 3rd and Elm. I watched him since he was 15, 16-year-old, built that up, saved his That's small business. That's small business. These people that move here and make restaurants and and all this other stuff. I think the guy that owns Dedos Coffee also owns the building. And yes, I'm looking at this post. There's no footage. The only thing that I see is just a generic picture of yeah, it's just a generic picture of the inside of the spot. But we have to stop doing this. You really have to start supporting the homies. Okay, your homies with the clothing lines and the music and with the food and all that. We got to really start getting bespoke, really Pioneers about this, because it's getting to a point to where it just feels like nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares. Everybody's cattle. Goy, that's the new thing that they're saying out here. Are we goy? Do we just do what they want us to? I don't think that should be the case. I think everybody should wake up and understand that the most important vote. Oh, see, look, there go that Southern stuff. The most important. The most important. That's what I want to say. The most important vote that you have on the daily, you vote every day, is with that dollar. That's the most important one. So y'all got to watch out. Because you know what? Even though I love Doghouse, I had some Hawaiian rolls at the crib, right? We had some of that little cheese with the pesto. And I had 2 eggs with the little ground beef. We got Doghouse at home. I just need y'all to wake up. I just need everybody to see what's going on. All these businesses and stuff, no, it's the people. It's the people. I need y'all to start asking these businesses where they from, what they doing with their money. And I need y'all to start going to city council meetings. But look, that's all I got right now for y'all, all right? That's all I got. I just want to talk about that real quick. Stay safe, stay positive. Keep your show 9 degrees and don't let these punk motherfuckers discourage you. It's hot. I'm going to keep this one show. All right. I love y'all. Peace.